Parak HaMeicher Asfina Daf Ayin Daled, sponsored Refuah Shleimer for Chizkiyahu Rafael ben Leah. Mar continues with esoteric stories told by Rabbi Barbachana. Number 11. An Arab merchant took Rabbi Barbachana to see the Dor HaMidbar, the generation of the desert. He cut a fringe of a garment of one of the deceased to determine the correct opinion of the dispute of Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel as to how many strings are necessary for each fringe, 3 or 4. Happens to be one of the 6 disputes the halacha follows Beis Shammai. The verse in the Torah concerning the Dor HaMidbar states, "Bamidbar yitamu v'sham yamusu." They will cease there and die in the desert. When he cut the fringe, they were unable to continue their journey. Nothing belonging to the Meisei Midbar, including their clothing, could leave the desert. Despite this, the Chachamim criticized Rabbi Barbachana. When he returned the fringe, he could have counted the threads in wound sections. Number 12. Continuing their journey, the Arab merchant took Rabbi Barbachana to Mount Sinai, where he saw scorpions resembling white donkeys surrounding it. He heard a bas kol, a heavenly voice, bemoaning his oath that nobody could annul. The Chachamim criticized him for having the credentials in not annulling the vow. He assumed the vow referred to was to never bring another flood. However, the Chachamim understood the bas kol would never have said oili for a vow benefiting mankind. Number 13. Continuing their journey, the Arab merchant took them to the place where the earth swallowed up Korah and his followers. 2 cracks in the ground emitted smoke from Gehenna once every month when they were punished, having to declare Moshe Emes v'Seirasei Emes. Number 14. Continuing the journey, the Arab merchant here represents the Yetzer Hara, who offered to take him to the place where heaven and earth meet, where one can find the best of both worlds. Upon arriving, he realized a man's financial success depends solely on Hashem, so he put his breadbasket in the window of heaven, but it disappeared. Rabbi Barbachana assumed it was stolen as a punishment for any dishonest dealings. The Arab merchant suggested wait until tomorrow, the afterlife, for it to reappear, because some righteous men are destined to remain poor in this world, not due to any shortcomings. Number 15. Rabbi Yochanan related how he was traveling on a ship and saw a fish stick his head out of water. This refers to an Am Haaretz who did not devote himself to learning Torah, represented as water. Later he decided to devote time to learn. His eyes shone like moons, reflecting the light of scholars. He learned from and water flowing from his nostrils like the Tigris and Euphrates. A nose represents anger. This type of learning where one angers at himself for not understanding will succeed. Number 16. Rav Safar relayed that they saw a fish head with horns engraved, "I am a small creature of the sea, 300 parsos long, who will be fed to the Leviathans." The Am Haaretz jealousy causes him to degrade Torah scholars despite his smaller size. However, the Chachamim eventually will prevail. Number 17. Rabbi Yochanan, while traveling on a ship, saw a chest studded with precious stones, pearls, symbolic of the afterlife, guarded by a fish for the worthy ones. An undeserving diver descending to bring it up was attacked by one of the fish representing a worthy one. He managed to chase it away by spilling vinegar in the water, cursing the worthy ones. A bas kol admonished him, for what business does he have with a treasure chest destined for the wife of Rabbi Chanina ben Dosa, who despised worldly pleasures for the sake of a greater reward in the afterlife? Number 18. Rabbi Yehuda Hindoi told the story once while traveling on a ship. He saw a precious stone representing the intellect being guarded by a great sea creature. When a diver from the ship attempted to take it, the sea creature, the Yetzer Hara, attempted to swallow it, depriving them the use of their intellect. However, a raven came and chopped off its head. Another sea creature revived the first by way of the stone, attempting again to swallow the ship, but the raven stopped it a second time. The diver brought it on the ship, reviving salted birds, the latent intellect. Number 19. Rabbi Eliezer and Rabbi Yeshua traveled on a ship. Rabbi Eliezer awakened from Rabbi Yeshua's trembling, having seen a great light. He explained it was the light emanating from the eyes of the Leviathan. Number 20. Huna bar Nasan related to Rav Ashi how they roasted spiced meat in the desert whole after cutting out forbidden parts. They returned 12 months later and found the coals still burning. Amemar told them the spice healed the wounds and the coals were long-lasting. The Gemara brings a dispute concerning the interpretation of the verse, Vayivra Elokim es hataninim hagedolim. In Bava, they interpreted it as referring to Re'emim. In Eretz Yisrael, they interpreted it as referring to the Leviathans, the straight and curved snake. Rabbi Yehuda Marav stated both were created male and female. However, when Hashem realized that by propagating they would destroy the world, he castrated the male and killed the female, salted it for the righteous in the next world. However, to the Behemos Bahare Elef, he cooled the female because fish are more intent on procreation, but did not salt her because salted meat is not as tasty as salted fish. He did not sterilize the female and salt the male, either because her flesh is tastier or it would be improper for Hashem to keep the female around him. Hashem instructed the prince of the sea, Rahav, to swallow its water so they do not inundate the world. He did not listen to Hashem, killed him. So Hashem killed him. However, to prevent an unbearable putrid smell, rivers flow into the seas and purify them. The Gemara discusses the seas of Eretz Yisrael. Source of the Jordan River is the caves of Banyas that empty into a small sea that once existed, the Sifri, and finally into the Kinneret. The Gemara names 7 seas and 4 rivers that surround Eretz Yisrael. If you're enjoying Daf and 5, please click on the link below, subscribe and become a sponsor. Have a good Shabbos. Thank you.